Happy holidays, everyone. This is, of course, your guy, LL here, coming back from a bit of a sick leave. And today we're going to be talking about the next year. What are going to be the major trends for 2023? Which coins are going to be going up and which coins are going to be going down? Now, in terms of a bit of a macro overlook, it's going to be a bearish year. And we're probably going to be seeing still a one drop, which will be the absolute bottom of the market. And that will be anywhere from minus 10 to minus 20% from the current numbers. So I guess anywhere around from 12 to 14K in terms of Bitcoin price. And that will be basically the very bottom. And then slowly from there, we're going to be seeing a slow recovery the next year. And maybe on 2024, we're going to be seeing a bit more of a bullish year. Now, obviously, even during the bear markets, there has been, projects that have performed well. Back in 2017, we had Binance Coin doing really well on the bear market, and Litecoin, and also Basic Attention Token. And there will be coins during the bear market that will do really well, but most of the money will be made on private sales and ICOs. So there probably will be some very good project going into sale this year, which is going to be performing really, really well once it's going to be fully launching. So that's where probably the most amount of money is. But obviously, usually those require a lot of money and obviously sometimes a KYC in order to participate on those. So obviously, we're going to be focusing on coins that are actually up at this point. Now, one of the major trends for the next year probably is going to be decentralized social media. Also known as DESO, which is also at the same time this project's name. So don't misunderstand here. DESO is the name of the category of this project, which includes things like, SoMe, Social, and there's some other projects which are, aiming for this decentralized social media. Then you have projects like Hive, obviously, which has been around for a very long time. But DESO is probably the most recent project, which launched in last year, September, and it has been seeing some crazy movements on its price, and they have many working products. It's a blockchain that is basically dedicated being all about social media. So there's decentralized Twitter and things like that. Like here's their project called the Diamond, which seems to be okay. I have been not trying it too much, but maybe it warrants a review down the line. And in terms of when I talk about these coins to you guys, I always look at what is the all-time high, what is the supply, and what is the current price. So currently we are sitting at $7.8 roughly. So we are, when you look at the 3-day month chart, we are quite down from this. On a yearly basis, we are down a lot. On year to date, we are also down very, very much. When it was listed on Coinbase, it was sitting at $475. That was probably very, very peak price here. So we are down 98%. And this was some very, very brief sale. Probably the 200 was something of the all-time high. So I always look into these things from that perspective, that how much we are down from the all-time high. And as I said, there seems to be a lot of people talking about the decentralized social media is going to be the big thing of the next year. Like before, it was the NFTs, and then we had all the Sandbox and all the game fee projects in the end of the year, and then we obviously had the metaverse stuff. That's what I was trying to say. So there's always some type of cyclical trends in crypto. Maybe there will be a privacy coin cycle in 2023. It's very likely due to a lot of heavy regulation coming out next year. So we could see things like Monero and Pirate Chain and things like that pumping out also on the next year. But that's not guaranteed. So that's why I'm not talking about any privacy coins here today. But what I'm trying to make at the point here is that this is a very low entry point for DESO, and seeing how high it was previously at this point at $200, there's a lot of room for growth, especially if there's going to be some type of movement. Also, I do want to add here that the circulating supply and the total supply is very small, only 10 million. That is half of Bitcoin's supply. So that is a very good valuation. It's not very high, and it's really roughly on the same number of the circulating supply. So it's not like there's going to be massive amounts of DESO released on the market randomly. So I think this is a pretty good entry point for Deso. Now, another coin that I think will be doing extremely well next year, maybe end like Q4, is going to be Litecoin. Now, Litecoin is going to be having halving in next August, according to this site. There's some sites that it's going to be saying it's somewhere down the summer. All of these halving sites are kind of outdated, sadly. Like, I wish there was one site where I could all look into these with like a lot more accurate data. But obviously halvings have some type of impact on the price, not immediately when the halving happens, usually maybe 6 months down the line in case of Bitcoin, for instance. But this is definitely a thing for Litecoin, and there are things like happening, like Michael Saylor might start shilling Litecoin instead of Bitcoin soon, so he might like switch the boats. And when we look into the current price, which is $67, and when we look into the all-time high, we are down 83%. So we were at $400, and the halving is going to happen. And we could even argue that on the previous halving, we didn't even reach that much of a new all-time high, to be honest. So I think Litecoin could like reach $800, or even, let's be conservative, let's say $600. And that's not even that much. That's a 10x from the current price. And even if it would reach previous all-time high, like the Litecoin is a very good position right now, in my opinion. They had the Mimblewimble stuff done, a lot of being development, token support, things like that. Even the tech is obviously like very outdated, something that I would not like advise a new project start working on. But there is development on Litecoin, there's promotion on Litecoin, a lot of good things. And the halving is the next one on the block to basically increase the valuation of Litecoin. So I think this Litecoin valuation is pretty cheap. I remember like farming Litecoin before the last halving. I was buying it a lot, and I made a lot of money because I got to buy at $40, $30, etc. And then I sold it really high. Not the all-time high, but I sold the good numbers. And I think it's a great point to basically accumulate Litecoin right now, because it's very cheap to also transfer, and a lot of people use it a lot. For example, in Russia. Our next project is Illuvium. Now, I've said that Illuvium has been my go-to-go number one, crypto gaming project. I think it's very far ahead in terms of where the game is at. Like, they're going to be launching a mobile game on private beta on January. So they have, like, most of these gaming projects, guys, are like 90% of them that are vaporware, or they're done in like Unreal Engine by some people who don't know anything about game development, like have no past history whatsoever. They're dog shit projects that nobody wants to play. But Illuvium is like a game that is very much on the edge that I would even play it even if crypto wasn't necessarily involved. It's pretty much on that boundary, at least for a lot of people, not necessarily for me even, but for a lot of people it would be. And that's a very bullish signal. The graphics are very good. You have a very base, the way that everything works, like it's an auto battler, so you don't need to learn absolutely everything about the game. You don't need like extreme mechanics or anything. You don't need to be like a veteran game player to profit from this. Now, I do want to add here that when we are talking about game fee projects, there are multiple investment angles. There's the token, there is the chain, the IMX, then there is the token, obviously, the ILV token, and then there is the NFTs. So you have the land NFTs, and then there's going to be the beasts, and the monsters are going to be NFTs in themselves, as far as I remember. I'm pretty sure they are. Now, the problem here is, like, what are we going to be investing in? Now, ILV is sitting at $40, rank 195. The game is probably going to be launching next year. Okay, next year I think we're going to be seeing a beta or open beta or something like that. And we're quite down. Well, 98% down from the all-time high. This is a good entry point, guys. Okay, it's still, well, it's above from the $30 thing that it was back in June 2 years ago. But we are, obviously the supply has inflated, but still at this entry point, it's very cheap. I wish I had the opportunity to just throw in thousands right now and buy in, because this is a great entry point. But let's say you have $1,000. You could entertain the idea of buying a couple of lands and then buying half ILV. that's also a strategy you can go for. So, as I said just a minute ago, it's hard to say what portion of the ILV will be the best investment right now. Will it be the lands or will it be the token? So I would maybe diversify my portfolio and buy both. I'm probably going to be personally buying both more now. I only have one land and maybe I'm buying a couple of more, and then I'm going to be maybe throwing 500 to 1k at ILV, because this is a very cheap price, and I think once there's going to be more interest, now that the game is going to be launching, the first game is going to be launching on mobile, and then the full game is going to be launching somewhere next year probably, or some version of it. And that's going to be piquing a lot of interest among a lot of people, because this is a game where you can actually like earn Ethereum by playing. So that's very bullish. But yeah, ILV is something that I'm bullish about. And then our last project for the list is Spot. And this is basically, I think this is an adjacent project to Ampleforth. That's way I've gathered here. And basically, it is a project token that has a basket of different assets under it. I was not able to find out which are those assets, but let's say it's like Aave, let's say it's some Ethereum, yada, yada, yada. And basically, those prices are the accumulator of the price of the spot. So the spot can be redeemed for the underlying assets under it. And that's the basic idea here. It's a very simple concept. But this is a token, basically what it means, that once, and there's I recommend like reading the white paper and everything. It's a very simple concept, but once the bull market happens, all those assets under that, the underlying assets of Spot are going to go up. I think AMPL might be one of those assets. That means that the Spot's price is going to go up also as those assets. So you're basically investing in basket of assets. So it's going to be very inflation resistant, which I like about it. And I just fundamentally think that this is an okay token to hold right now. It's currently sitting at $1.16. It literally kind of jumped off a bit in the last 7 days. I think it was $1 not too long ago. Okay, it wasn't. I think this is a good coin to hold for like a long term, for at least 2 years, because all the underlying assets, you obviously have to do research which those assets are right now, and those assets are likely going to be performing really well on the bull market, and that will be increasing the spot price of Spot as well. And it's a very low cap project, not a lot of talked about it. It's on published OX. But something I'm looking to gather myself right now, because I see a lot of potential here. It's a good plan, it's a good idea, and the fundamentals are there based on my brief browse of the white paper. But I have to do more research before I make the full investment. Now, lastly, I want to talk about a couple of coins which I have lost the faith on. Now, there are a lot of projects which I have talked about, like Ethereum killers, which most of these projects in this quadrum of coins are. Like, one of them are Solana. Solana has gone into under 2 digits. It's right, like $9.85 or something. 90% of the developers have basically gone the fuck out of Solana. Some of my followers still are, Solana's gonna come back. I wouldn't be so sure, guys. I'm saying that wait for a next pump to $15 or something, and then exit all out. Like, I don't have any Solana left. Like, nada. I sold everything. I don't think there's any recovery for this project, because FTX was a main funder of many projects in the ecosystem. Major NFT projects like DeGods and everything else have migrated out of Solana. And that's where the most of the community is in those NFT projects. And yeah, there is things like Star Atlas, which I'm not selling the assets. NFTs might be the only thing I would hold on Solana right now, because they will be migrated. But fundamentally, like, the way I'm seeing this thing is that Solana will not recover, because they never had a solution for their problems in the first place. And now all the developers are, bailing out and going to work on something else. So once the devs are gone, that's a massive death signal, because there will be no new dApps. There will be, nothing new built on basically on Solana if the developers are leaving. 90% is not a small number by any stretch of imagination. That's a massive number and a very important metric. So Solana, I'm totally like out of this like whole thing. Another one is Elrond, which now rebranded to Multiverse X. And all of these 4 projects which I'm going to be talking about also have crazy inflation rates. Like the days where you can like offer above 10% staking returns are over. Like that's just too much. I think Elrond had like 9% or 12% right now, and that's just too much. And you're inflating the price like a motherfucker. And even though Elrond has a very fixed supply, which is not even that high, I'm not going to sell my Elrond holdings, but I have become a lot more bearish because I don't like this new name. It's dumb. They maybe had to change due to some copyright shit, and I understand that, but like this is a very generic name. It's not very attractive name. They should have used DA to basically pull out or something. And I just think that the project is kind of lost, and they have swifted around like what are we focusing exactly on, and I haven't seen as many dApps on the chain as I would have wanted to, and more development work in general. So Elrond, due to its high inflation rates, I don't see much of a future for this one, but I'm going to be waiting a good time to exit from Elrond. So I don't know when that is going to be, but I think Elrond has kind of knocked themselves out from that Ethereum killer race right now. Another project which I've been a big fan of, I've showed Atom for you guys for a very long time. Atom is kind of at a civil war right now, where the Atom 2.0 was not voted to be enacted. And there are massive tokenomics problems on Atom right now. Once again, we have a coin that has like 13% inflation rate. There's no max supply. And I'm like, what the fuck is going to happen here? Like, how are we going to be deflating the supply? And there's no solutions. I want to hear more active solutions to combat inflation in the coins that I'm investing in, because otherwise I will become poorer as time goes on. But you have to plan out like so hard when you're going to be exiting because of these high inflation rates. If inflation rate is under 5%, like it is with like Ethereum, that's not too bad. It's bad, but it's like not too bad, where it's going to be having a huge impact. But 10% is too much, especially for all of these people who come from debt finance, who are like VCs. They're just going to dump on us. And Cosmos has been bleeding a lot, and it needs a heavy repair for the utility of the coin, and the way to have like some type of burning mechanism going on Atom. And lately the airdrops haven't been really good. I think that there's going to be one very big airdrop, and then it's going to be over for Atom. And I don't know when I'm going to exit, but right now like I'm not very happy what I'm seeing. The community is at a bit of a civil war. And the last project here is Algorand. I have sold everything on Algorand already. So, and I did mention this already to my people. And the reason why is that Algorand's activity on the chain was like dropped like 75%, like in terms of transactions and everything. During the bear market, like Ethereum and Bitcoin still have many transactions going on. They see drops, but not like very significant. So Algorand, social metrics are very bearish, and that's just social metrics. I don't care about social metrics too much. They're not really that important, but what matters is that there is activity on the chain. People are actually doing transactions and everything, but seeing all of these projects like the Block project, and seeing the what was the fucking the wind condition fucking project, you know, the IoT project that I invested in, I call Planet Watch, yeah, and that both went kind of on to shit. So a lot of the tokens and the projects built on Algorand kind of went to dog shit, and there's not really that many dApps on the ecosystem. You have developers, or the CEO has a massive supply, VCs have a lot of supply. It's a very VC style coin. And I try to like go away from these VC coins, because they just gives too much sell pressure for these companies who normally expect 5% return from traditional companies, but if they get 10% on crypto, they're already going to be dumping on you. So it's like you don't want to fuck with these people because they have so much sell pressure and they are fine with selling at like relatively low gains. For them it's high, but for us that's just normal. But that's kind of my what I have to say. Obviously we're going to be doing another video about next coins for the next year, but hopefully you find something insightful. I think everybody should review their portfolio. Do they have coins which have simply just gotten too old and are just bleeding in value because of the high inflation and shit? You might want to dump those, or find a way or a position where you can basically sell them at least some, you know, good price. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, yada yada yada. I will be seeing you in the next time.